Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Ackerman with Instructional Technology. Today I'm going to be going over how to add captions to a video project using Final Cut Pro 10. Couple different ways that you can add captions using Final Cut Pro, either manually directly in Final Cut Pro. You can copy and paste a script into those captions in Final Cut Pro, or if you already have a caption file created, you can import that caption file into Final Cut Pro. I'm going to be showing you all three different ways, and then I'll also be going over how to export and upload your file to YouTube with the captions that you create here. So let's go ahead and get started. To add captions to a Final Cut project, you're going to go up to Edit, Captions, Add Caption. And you can see it appears at the top of our timeline in this blue color. Just like video or audio within your project down here, you can click and drag these captions around and also make them longer or shorter by dragging the ends. Before we can get started adding our captions, we need to change the caption format. Right now you can see here that these captions are in ITT format. While these will work, it will not work for everything that we are looking to do with the videos we export. So we're actually going to change these to the CEA 608 format. And I'll show you how to do that, but the reason we are changing them is because CEA 608 captions allow us to embed the captions directly into our exported file. Here's how we do it. I'm going to right click on the caption that I just created and go to assign caption roles. Right now all we see is this ITT format. So I'm just going to go here to edit roles. And up here you can see I can add a caption role. So I'm going to add that. CEA 608 is what I want. So I'm going to add that in and click apply. Now, when I right click on my caption again, I'm going to go back to assign caption roles. And here is my CEA 608 format. And we're going to want them in English. So we're going to go ahead and change that. We get a prompt that we're changing our captions to a different format. That is okay. So we can hit continue. Now, down on my timeline, I can see that it is a CA 608. If I double click into my caption, I can also see it is a CEA 608 format. Now when we add a caption, go back up to Edit, Captions, Add Caption. You can see it automatically pops up as a CEA 608. Let's get started with adding our captions. The first way I'm going to show you is adding captions manually directly in Final Cut Pro 10. So I'm going to take my first caption here, drag it to the beginning, and listen to the first thing that is popping up here. And it's just a bunch of music here. So I'm going to put my playhead to right before when Casey starts talking and drag my first caption out to that point. To add text, again, I can either double click and type directly down into my text box here, or up in my inspector window, I can add text as well. You saw here when I started typing that this caption turned to red. Red means there is an error in your caption, and you can see what that error is by clicking on your caption, scrolling down in the Spectre window. Under the validation headline, you can see what the error is. So this caption occurs too close to the beginning of the project. Move the caption 5 frames later. So I'm just going to count out 5 frames here. Move my caption, and you can see it turned back to this blue. Anytime any of your captions are red, they will not export properly, so you should be going over to this validation section to see what the error is and correcting it. My first caption was music.
The whole reason that we're really here is for our students.
And Casey started talking. So what I can do is with my second caption here, drag it over and start typing. Casey is the one speaking, so I'm going to start out this caption with Casey. And I only need to do that for when someone new starts speaking. So my next caption, you'll see I'm not going to include that it says Casey. I'm just going to be typing out what she says. When we get to Miranda, then I'm going to type Miranda's name in here when she first starts speaking. So let's go ahead and listen to what Casey says here again.
The whole reason that we're really here is for our students.
The whole reason that we're here is for our students. Now, with CEA 608 captions, you are allowed 32 characters per line and up to 4 lines. 4 lines tends to crowd the screen a little bit, so I've been sticking to 2 lines of text. So you can see students went down to the 3rd line here. So I'm actually going to delete students from this caption and drag it out to where Casey says really here for our.
Here is for our students.
Drag that one out, and at this point I'm going to add a new caption. Again, I can go up to Edit Captions, Add Caption, or the keyboard hotkey on a Mac is Option C. You can see here by hitting Option C, it added in a new caption, and again the format is CEA 608. So now I can start typing again, and then continue listening to what Casey says so I can continue typing.
Students. And I always come back to that at the heart of everything that we're doing.
Typed out what Casey said there. Again, I'm at more than 2 lines. So I'm actually just going to click into my caption here, copy and paste this last line.
And I always come back to that at the heart of
Add a new caption, Option C, and paste what I had needed to continue from the previous caption.
the whole reason that we're really here is for our students. And I always come back to that at the heart of everything that we're doing.
So from this point, I would continue listening to what Casey and Miranda are saying in this video, adding captions and typing in what they're saying. This is obviously going to take some time, so do give yourself plenty of time to be adding in your captions. Now, another way that you can add captions is if you had a script written already for your video. In this instance, I have the first couple of lines that Casey had said typed up in a Word document. I can actually copy and paste from this Word document straight into Final Cut. So what's the last thing we have typed out here? Everything that we are doing. So I'm going to go to my Word document. Here's the last thing Casey has said. Here's the next part of what she's going to say. So I can actually come in here, Command C for copy, go back to Final Cut Pro, and I'm going to add that in to my caption here so we get that full 2 lines. Now, obviously you saw this turn red here, so we're going to go to validation. Too many lines of text. Obviously we're limited to 4 lines. My recommendation, again, is doing 2. So I'm going to go up to my inspector window here. I'm going to copy those and delete them off of that caption. It becomes incredibly important. So now I'm going to add a new caption, Option C, and Command V to paste the text that I had copied. Again, I'm going to keep my 2 lines, copy the remaining text, and add it in to a new caption again. So now I can line these up.
It's incredibly important that the IT department is providing services that prepare our students to lead out in the real world. There was a services that prepare our students to lead out in the real world.
And I'll drag this out to match where she says. So that is how you can copy from a Word document into Final Cut Pro and do your captions out that way. The last way that you can add in captions is by importing a caption file that's already been created. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the ones I have done here. And you can import a caption file just like you would any other media file by going to File, Import. Instead of Media, I'm going to go to this Captions option. Click on Captions. I actually have a captions file for this video saved to my desktop, this .scc file. So I have my file selected that I want, and I'm going to click Import. And you can see that the caption file that was already done for this video shows up in my captions here. If you're importing a caption file to a project, it is a good idea just to make sure that it is lining up how you want it to go. So let's just listen for this first parts here.
Some of the media services staff and some of the IT staff, and we really formed this new department.
Instructional technology is focused on...
So this is lining up pretty good. It's switching to the new words when the new words are spoken. Now that we have all of our captions done, let me go over some of the editing options that you have. So I'm going to click on a caption, and it's going to bring it up over here in my inspector window. Obviously, we can edit our text up here as well. The other thing that we can do from our inspector window is adjusting the alignment and placement of our captions. See, alignment here, just like in Word, we have left, right align, and center lines. Placement is where it's going to show up in your video. So right now, I have it aligned to the top of my screen. I can also click the bottom button, move the caption to the bottom, and it will jump there. You can also adjust this bit by bit by clicking on these buttons that don't have this line item. So that's how you place a caption in a certain spot on your video. I'm going to align this back to the top for now. Now, the other thing you can do from your inspector window is change the display options for a particular caption. Right now, my display style is pop-up, so my captions are just popping up on screen when they're there. I can also change this to a paint on. Now you notice when I change it to paint on that I got an error here with my caption. So let's go to the validation window. Caption occurs too close to the previous caption, move the caption 3 frames later. So I would have to go in here, move this caption 3 frames later, and you can see it went back to this blue color, so it's good to go. With paint on and the roll up display styles, you're going to get more of these errors where you have to space your captions out more than what you would with the pop-up. The easiest way to do captions is to just keep them as this pop-up feature. Some of the other display options you have here, formatting, you can italicize or underline certain words. You can also play with the text color and background colors. So I can actually change this text color to red, yellow, green, blue, whatever I want to do. I'm just going to leave mine white for now. And same thing with the background color. Red, yellow, green, whatever colors you want here. I'm going to leave this as black. Now you can also mess with the background opacity. So right now I have it as this solid black. You can also do a slightly opaque background or have no background at all. I'm just going to leave mine as this solid black color. So that is how you add captions to a video file. So now that we have all of our captions done, we are ready to export. So I'm going to go up to File, Share, Master File. And in here, the export screen pretty much looks the same. So I can go in here and change what I want my exported file to be called. I can change it to computer just to get that MP4 format. The last one here, and this is new, is the Roles tab. So I'm going to click over to Roles. And you can see in here my video file, the video track. I'm going to embed the CEA 608 captions in English. If we were exporting the ITT caption format, this wouldn't be here. So you want to make sure, again, that you're in the CEA 608 format. At the bottom here, I have the option to export a separate captions file from my video. I'm going to click to do that. The reason being, when we go to upload this, say, to YouTube, we can import this captions file into YouTube, so it will use the captions that I made in Final Cut. So exporting the separate file, we have two options for timing, relative and absolute. Now, relative timing will calculate each caption's start time by subtracting the project's start time, whereas absolute will use each caption's actual start time regardless of the project's start time. Typically, I've been exporting my captions files using absolute. So now that I have all of this ready to go, I will click Next, just like we usually do. So I'm going to click Save and let this export how it usually does. Once this is done exporting, I will show you what the captions look like in QuickTime and how to turn them on and off. We'll also upload this video to YouTube, and I'll show you how to import the captions file that you created. So now that my video is exported, I got my Share Successful tab here. I will go ahead and get out of Final Cut Pro, and here's that exported QuickTime file. And you can see here, I have this little captions option where I can turn the subtitles off, auto, or have my captions turned on. You can see my captions are appearing embedded onto my video file.
The whole reason that we're really here is for our students.
So as I scrub through here, you can see that all my captions are showing up here. So let's go ahead and upload this to YouTube. So once we're in YouTube, we can go to our upload video link just like we would before, select files to upload. I'm going to go to my finished videos folder. Here is the video that I want to upload. I'll click open and you can see it starts uploading to YouTube. We're going to go ahead and let this complete real quick. Now that my video is done uploading to YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and click into it, and you can see that my captions aren't showing up yet. So what I'm going to do is go down to the edit video option. And over here on the right is the subtitles closed captioning tab. I will click in there. And this is why we exported a separate captions file from Final Cut Pro. I'm going to go to add new subtitles or closed captioning. And I have three options here. I can create new subtitles or closed captioning, transcribe and autosync, or I can upload a file. We have a file because we exported it from Final Cut. So I'm going to go to upload file. It is a subtitles file. Choose. There's my SCC file that we exported, and I'm going to upload. Now, because we added the absolute, they show up exactly where we put them in. So you can see down here that all of my captions are here. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes. Go back to my video. And now you can see down here, the closed captionings button has appeared, and I can turn them on or off.
The whole reason that we're
And
really
there are my
here is
captions
for our
that I
students.
created in
And
Final
I
Cut
always
Pro.
come back to that at the heart of everything that we're doing.
So that is how you can add captions to your video project using Final Cut Pro 10. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact one of the instructional technology specialists.